Hi, my name is Jesse Collin. I'm the Universty here at the Concord University Bonner House for campus-wide community service, and I serve as the trip coordinator for our recent Student Homeless Challenge Project trip to Washington, D.C. to experience homelessness firsthand in our nation's capital, and that was a program through the National Coalition for the Homeless. And I just want to take some time to share about my experiences as a participant in that trip and also as the trip coordinator. And I'm going to start out first in this video about talking about kind of my expectations going into the trip. I meant to do this before the trip and I just got caught up in things and didn't get to do it. So I'm going to be a little biased in my expectations, just so you know. My expectations going into this trip actually was, the initial mood was excitement, just that this trip had happened and that so many people were interested in it. And the reason that I say that is because I've been wanting to do this trip for a long time. Starting out as when I was a student here at Concord in the Bonner Scholars Program. We took our freshman service trip to Washington, D.C., and we worked with agencies assisting hunger and homelessness there. And as part of that, we had speakers come down from the National Coalition for the Homeless and kind of share their stories about what they had to endure. And after that, they shared about the opportunities that they have for us to go learn more about homelessness. And one of those was the Student Homeless Challenge Project for Urban Plunge activity in Washington, D.C., where we could go out and actually see the way that you have to live homeless. Even for just that short period of time, to just kind of get a better feel of what the struggle really is. And I wanted to do it. I just thought it was going to be a very interesting experience, mostly because a lot of times when you hear about what people in homelessness endure, you kind of hear it in the context of their entire lives, and you don't get to hear so much about those day-to-day battles. I just wanted to see, how hard is it really each day that you're going through being homelessness and being in homelessness to just find the services that you need to, live the life, to stay out of trouble, to do things like that. How hard is it each day to day? The really only way to do that is to kind of experience it yourself. And so that's probably the reason that I wanted to do it, and that's why I tried to plan a trip to do it when I was here in my senior year. I finally got the opportunity as I took on the role of the campus-wide community service coordinator as a student here. And I tried to pull the trip together, and we had a few people that got interested in the trip and wanted to do it. But by the time it came to commitment time, they all had backed out for various reasons. And it was just me and a faculty member who were left interested in still going. And we had talked for a while about whether or not we were just going to go, the two of us, and we decided that with our schedules and with not having a full group to take up there, that we didn't feel like it would be the right time. And so it was kind of disappointing for me. Like I said, it was my senior year, and I'm graduating, and I'm like, I'm not going to get this opportunity to go do it. But then when I came back here, some other people had heard about that opportunity from before when we first offered it, and they'd come and talk to me about how they wanted to do it and really had pressured me to see if we could make it happen. And I spoke with Kathy, the supervisor here at the Bonner House Community for campus-wide community service, and she agreed that it would be an opportunity that we should offer. And so we pulled all the things together and we decided to go. And so I was pretty excited about the opportunity to get to do that. It's a little different when you're going on this trip, not just as a participant, but also just as a coordinator. Because I have to say that my number one fear in going on this trip really was not for me. My number one fear was that something was going to happen to one of the students on the trip. Maybe even not something that serious, but maybe let's say they got arrested for, I don't know, whatever, or they got hurt a little bit or something like that, and that was going to be something that was going to negatively affect service trips in the future and the entire service learning movement. I just had a fear that something bad was going to happen on this trip, just because you get extra nervous about a trip like this, which maybe you shouldn't, but you do, just because you're like, we're going to be on the streets, we don't know what to expect, people could get hurt. You just think those things whether you should or not. And so that was probably my number one fear, is that something was going to happen to one of the students. Fortunately, it didn't. So that was very exciting. There was no reason for me to fear that it would in retrospect, but we'll stay out of that until the next video, the retrospect. So that was my initial fear, was to have something happen to one of the students. And what was I really expecting to get out of the trip? Like I said, expecting to see the day-to-day struggles that they go through. I was expecting to be surprised about certain things. I was expecting to be treated poorly. I was expecting to be very uncomfortable and not get very much sleep. I was expecting to not get very much food. I was expecting to be lonely, and I was expecting to meet a diverse background of people. I was expecting to meet lots of different kinds of people. That's true. Because I just had heard some of the stories, and I know that there are lots of different people that fall victim to homelessness, contrary to what some people think, that they're all one thing or another. I knew that just from hearing the stories that you'll run into everything. And also from my life experience, as I'll probably talk about in my next video. So those are my expectations going in. To look homeless, I got one of those like denim jackets that I've seen a lot of people wear when I've been in bigger cities and run into homeless people. They kind of have those denim looking jackets. I don't even know if they're real denim. So I had one of those. I just had a t-shirt that was kind of torn up and some jeans that were, torn, a little messed up. By the end of the week, I shouldn't tell you this now, but by the end of the week they were almost ruined completely. So that's what I did to look homeless, and so that was kind of what I was like going into the trip. Mostly just nervous about what was going to happen and that the students were going to be okay. So yeah.